Hey guys, what's up? So we're back here with more Rugby League 3, and it's round 5, we're versing the Sydney Roosters. And in the last game we won, we're undefeated so far, our team is pretty solid at the moment, it's pretty set. A couple of injuries, a few suspensions, so a couple players to come back in, but other than that we're pretty good to go. But in the last few rounds I was talking a lot about what I want to see in the next Rugby League game in relation to gameplay features, gameplay modes, that sort of thing. And in the next few rounds, I probably want to start talking about the meat and potatoes of it, and that's gameplay fixes, gameplay improvements, gameplay things that need to change, okay? So we can start off pretty simple. Probably the biggest thing people complained about in Rugby League Live 2 was no doubt the intercepts. The intercepts, like, I played that game a fair bit, but the main thing I remember from it is the intercepts. You know, if you spread the ball wide, they would intercept it. There's no rhyme or reason for it. They just magnetize towards it. You know, like, I understand it can be an issue to like sort that out. You don't want the players to just hold back so it's easy for you to throw the ball wherever you want. There has to be some sort of detriment, but it should require a little bit more skill. I saw one person mention there should be like an intercept button, and like that's okay, but against like the computer it won't work. I mean, you look at this game here, Rugby League 3, and there's hardly any intercepts that happen, and it can happen. If you race up with a player and they throw a terrible pass, a real loopy pass, you can intercept it. And I do like the way it works in this game. Like, personally, I would rather there be pretty much no intercepts than how it was in Rugby League Live 2. I think everyone would be more happy with that. You know, it just makes the game funner to play. You can play some more expansive footy. Because in Live 2, what you would be resorted to is just short passing, pretty much. You could do a long pass out of dummy half, as long as you're not close to the try line. But other than that, you'd have to do short passes. The rest, they just race up and intercept. And I'm not exactly sure, but I feel like this game right here, it feels like the players are more proportionate to the field, right? So they're a bit smaller, or maybe the ground's a bit bigger, and I feel like that would improve it a lot. It feels like Rugby League Live 2, it feels a bit cramped, right? You spread the ball wide and there's not really many holes. Like, it feels a pretty cramped field. So maybe if they increase the size of the field a bit and increase or decrease the players in relation to it, you know, if they did that, if they decrease the players in relation to the field and made the field a bit bigger, it would also mean players look more realistically big or realistically small. I mean, in Rugby League Live 2, obviously some players are bigger than others, some players are smaller than others. I feel like they did a pretty good job with proportions, but the thing is when you're actually playing a game, they all look the same size, and it's sort of true in this game as well, but obviously this game doesn't have quite the same proportion differentiators like Rugby League Live 2. So if they made the field proportionally bigger, then like a Cassiano would look like a big man compared to like a Milford. It would stand out and make the game look better. But I think it would also definitely improve the interceptions. But yeah, they just need to cut that out. Like, I don't know what it is, but they just magnetize towards it. So I'm sure the developers are working hard on that, and they've worked hard on that to remove it, because everybody complained about that, and I mean, I totally understand why. Honestly, it was probably the main thing that stopped me from playing the game more, because it was just so frustrating. What else about Rugby League Live 2 that I just couldn't stand? Okay, so one thing I couldn't stand is, and this is sort of relation to intercepts. So, if someone did intercept it in that game, they scored, you know? Well, if it was a computer, they scored, and if it was a player, you know, mate, a couple of times I'd intercept and I'd run the wrong way, so I wouldn't score. But if you ran the right way, you would score. No one would catch you. And you know, if someone like if one of the wingers, if like a fullback, if one of the fast playing in your teams does get an intercept, they're not generally going to get caught, right? That's true. But in that game, everybody who intercepted, a forward, anybody, even like a slow center, if they intercepted, they would score. No one would catch them. And a couple of reasons for this, right? So, one, I think it's for difficulty. Because when you're playing a high difficulty, it seems to just be the players can catch you and you can't catch them when they make a break and that sort of thing. It's sort of like it's a fake difficulty. It's just like making the other players better than you. You know, and I don't know how else you would make it difficult, you know. That's why I sort of would like to see just... I don't know how you do it, but I don't like the inflation of speeds with high difficulties. I would like a more AI-focused thing, you know. The AI just throws it around more, is more consistent, more balanced, more thoughtful when the game's actually being played of how to approach it. But the other thing is sort of the AI went chasing. So obviously they need to do this, but the NRL, well, rugby league games in general, like, they're in a line. Every player's in their formation line, pretty much. You know, you can run sideways and this and that, but in defense, they're in lines. So when someone makes a break, you'll see it all the time. Like, all these people chasing will just be running in a straight line. They will not cut across. They won't cut across to stop them. They'll just be running in a straight line, and it's so frustrating. You try to change to a player, he'll run away. You try to change to the player next to him, he'll sort of stop, and then he won't be able to catch up. And it's so frustrating because they just chase in a line. They don't actually cut across, and that's what they need to work into the AI. They need to work into it that, yeah, they have to stay in their formations when defending. You don't want them running. You don't want all the players converging into the ball. You don't want all the wingers converging onto the ball carrier. So, you know, it would just be ridiculous. But they just need to work out a way so when someone makes a break, they need to work out that the wingers, the centers, anyone chasing actually goes for the player with the ball and goes for the players who are looking to score, right? And that's something as well on the try line. You'll see it all the time, like, you'll be in this stuck animation on the try line where they'll do this sort of a tackle. They'll do an animation tackle and there's no way of stopping it. Again, they need to incorporate some sort of non-animation, I guess, to allow more players to get in. Like, maybe it could be an animation, but when someone's looking to score, like, people get in there. People, like, a lot of players try to get under the ball. A lot of players try to help out. And maybe that could be like some sort of button press, and after you do that, then you're going to be short out wide. So if you do hold them up, then you're going to be short out wide because people are in real close, so they got more opportunities to score. You know, it would add a bit more strategy to it. You could try to let like one or two players try to hold them up, or if you press a button for more players to come in and potentially stop a try, then you're going to be spread out wide. You know, just add a bit more. And it's always annoying when they just do like a few rucks up the center and they score. You know, usually it doesn't happen like that in NRL. And what's the other... So another thing that they need to sort out is the kicking. The kicking in Rugby League Live 2 from memory, it was pretty difficult. Like, you didn't seem to have much time. I like the way the kicking works in this game. Like, it goes into this slow-mo time, and you have plenty of time, right? And kicking is actually a strategy. Like, if you're getting belted and you're way down to your end, you can kick it long and you can go for a 40-20 in this game. It just seems a lot easier, and I know they don't want to make kicking overpowered and stuff like that, but I feel like there should be more. It should be simpler. Like, doing bombs and grubbers is a little difficult at times, and And the main thing with kicking I want them to sort out is the contesting of bombs, right? So, again, that's probably one of the other major things that people don't like is like the bombs. If like if the AI puts up a bomb, like the majority of times they will catch it and they will score pretty much uncontested. Like I played so many games where it's like your players seem to run away from the ball. Like they'll jump up but they're nowhere near the ball. It's like, what are you even doing over there? You're not even close to where the ball is. And it's pretty frustrating. It's pretty frustrating. So they need to get that sorted out. And they need to actually put some... You know, if you got a forward going up against a tall winger in the game, then the tall winger should win the ball. Like, it should come down to... I feel like it should come down to timing, like being able to time a button press. But it also should come down to how good the player is under the high ball. So I don't know what the stats... I don't know if there's like jumping stats or catching ability stats. But I hope there is, and I hope that really determines who comes up with the ball when a high ball goes up. And I don't want to see... Like, and this happens all the time as well. Whoever catches the ball, there's like that animation where the other players just stand around and just watch him put it down. Like, they don't come in for a tackle. They don't come in for a tackle. They just... It goes up. If the attacking team catches it, then they're going to put it down. There's no sort of defense to it. And that's really frustrating. What other major things... Like, there's not actually that many other major things that were wrong with Rugby League Live 2's gameplay, you know? I mean, a few... And these are just... I'll start talking about some things that would just be nice. Nice in general, to make the game more enjoyable. And one of those is, like... more control over your player. Like, I like the way you move in Rugby League Live 2, but... I would like more of a... You know, I'll bring it back to like a Madden. I like the way you can spin. I like the way you step in that game. I would be fine if they sort of made it a bit more like that, because I don't know if there's spin moves in Rugby League Live 2, but it would be a nice feature, and like just more ways of breaking tackles. But the defense, they have to obviously account for that when defenders should be better, but more attacking players should be quicker and more agile. So you got someone like a Tuivasa-Sheck, he should be able to like step and spin around and do all sorts of maneuvers, you know, that forwards can't do. And likewise, that the forward defenders and strong defenders should be able to tackle those players more easily. Not definitely, but they should be able to tackle them. And it should be balanced. It should be balanced that more attacking players are going to be better. And we just won the game. We just won the game. That's... Look at this move by Yayi. Straight in and away and dive in the corner. Look at that. So, I'll probably talk about this next round, but like, look at this acrobatics. Like, they need to introduce some of that into the new game. Like, I don't think Rugby League Live 2 had that. But in Rugby League 3 on the Wii, you have players like diving into the corner like that. Like, there's so many cool things that they could add to the game. Just little things that would improve the gameplay immensely. As we just scrape home with the win here, and that's gonna wrap up this little discussion. There's plenty more ideas and gameplay talk that I'll probably talk about when I come up with more ideas, but yeah, just some key aspects they need to work on and fix. And hopefully, I'm sure they will. Like, a lot of what I just said, they will fix. Like, intercepts they're definitely gonna fix. I'm sure they're looking at, like, bombs and stuff like that. As we get an injury. And that's the Dele M. Dale Copley fractured jaw. What?